This is a video about Gutenberg, and we're going to be creating this blog post. Let's get started. Here we have our word processor document created already, and there's some notes in here about what we're going to do on the page. Over here we've got all of our assets that we need for the page. Here I am in WordPress. I'm going to come over to Posts, All Posts. I'm going to go switch over to my Word doc. Lots of copying and pasting ahead. Let's copy, add new post, and paste. Let's get this Auckland feature image in. Now, feature images are done over here on the right. We have post and block. If you don't see featured image here, then you might likely be on the block tab. So that's the thing to watch out for, is just which tab you're on, and that will become a bit more clear as we move forward. So let's go set featured image, and this is our Auckland image that we want to use. Just pop in some alt text, set featured image, and I like to save as we go. You can also save a draft and preview in a new tab. We're off to a good start. Let's take our next paragraph. Now, the thing that I like about Gutenberg is that it copies and pastes things really well, just like that. Onto breathtaking landscapes. So I've pasted that and it's become a paragraph. I don't actually want a paragraph, I want a heading. So I'm going to click on paragraph here and transform it to a heading. Heading 2 I think is going to be okay. Let's have a look at heading 3. Maybe I like that better. Carriage return, and we're on to our next thing. Just like that. Okay, let's have our Milford Sound image and break it into a 2-column layout. So we've got a couple of options here. We can type / and this will bring up a menu of all of the common Gutenberg elements that we can use. I'm not seeing columns in there, but let me type columns or col. Sure enough, there are the columns. Now, the other way to do that, when I see this plus over here, I can click that and I can browse all, and I see all of the Gutenberg blocks that I can use on my left hand side. And if I scroll down, I can see columns. So there's a whole bunch of different blocks for arranging content in different ways. There's columns, group, grids, stacks, and rows. So all a bit confusing if you've never done this before, but let's just stick with columns for now. I'm going to choose a 50-50 column, and I'm going to put an image in here. Click the plus, and I just type image, and there's my image block. I'm going to upload it to the media library, and sure enough, here is my Milford Sound image. Over in the next column, which is invisible, I just click into that area, I see another plus. So I'm going to click there and click paragraph, and then I can copy and paste this information here into that paragraph. That's one way of doing it. We've also got the document overview panel on the left. Let's open up this column. Here we see the 2 columns. Let's click on this one. What I really like to do is just drag things around in here. So I can drag that under column, it automatically indents itself, and as you can see, it's moved over into that column. I can move breathtaking landscapes up into there if I want. I don't want to do that, so I'll move it back down. So yeah, you can see this is a really cool list view of all of the elements on the page. Let's take up this space here I just noticed. Let's get our next one in, a cultural tapestry. There's yet a third way of adding blocks to the page, and that's this little blue plus. It's not always reliable at coming up at just where you want it. It depends on what other blocks are around it. Let's click that, go heading, paste, cultural tapestry. Copying and pasting that text straight into there. Now the next thing that we're going to do is a gallery of Rotorua images. So I could pull up the gallery block and start uploading all of those images, but what I'm actually going to do right now is I'm going to publish. I'm going to go back into WordPress and I'm going to go to the media library, and I'm just going to upload all of my documents right now just to save myself a bit of strife in the future. Much easier to have all of your documents already on the site rather than be constantly uploading them. So I want all of those. I want that one. Those two are already uploaded, and I've got a couple of PDFs here as well. So this is the cool thing about WordPress. Drag and drop. Let's come back to our post. Posts, all posts. We come into here and then we just go edit. I can type a / and just type the word gallery, or I can click this little blue box here to add the block. Let's do that. Gal. And so normally where we would have gone upload, this time we're going to save ourselves a bit of time, media library. And we can start pulling all of our Rotorua images into the site. Awesome. Create a new gallery. I can drag these around if I don't like the order. Maybe I want to put that tapestry somewhere in the middle. Let's put this greeting at the start, this one at the end. I think I like that one there. Let's keep those two together. Insert. And you can see it's created a really cool little masonry gallery for me. If I happen to delete an image, so we've got to select the whole thing. Open media library. Let's remove one of these images by unticking it there, and we'll see the layout change. And there we go. And let's delete another one. Open media library. Add to gallery. Update. Gutenberg blocks will create nice montages for you. You've still got a little bit of extra control over here. I can put that into 2 columns if I want. I could put it into 4 columns if I want. I think it looked quite nice at 3. Now the alignment button will enable us to do things like wide width. Let's give it a little bit of space at the top and the bottom. I could put a carriage return in, but I should also be able to select the entire gallery. We have to select it by clicking somewhere in this white space. Coming back to what I said before about block and post, we are editing a block, so we've gone to block. We've also got settings here where we adjusted our columns, and we've got styles. In styles we've got block spacing, and you can see we can do the top and the bottom, and we can do the columns. If we wanted to, we've also got extra stuff in here: block spacing, padding and margins. Let's come into margins and let's increase some space around it at the top and the bottom. And you can see that blue box is showing us how much it's increasing. So I quite like it around about 4, I think. Let's make this nice and open. Let's save, click View Post, just to have a look. Yeah, that's looking really good. Okay, I'm going to close that tab down and carry on. Adventure capital of the world. /head for heading, paste. carriage return, copy, paste. Pull quote or testimonial. All right. So let's use our little blue button here. Pull quote. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space, said AJ Hackett. Let's have the background a soft grey like that. Maybe that's a bit dark for me. Let's go and soften it up. And I'd like a little bit of spacing on the insides here, if I can get that to happen. Let's try. Lovely. Let's pop a border on it too. Let's choose this nice grey. And we just want a little 1 pixel border. And do we like this radius? Maybe it's a bit too much. Let's just go for 10. And you can see that I'm editing the block here. Let's also link AJ Hackett's name to bungie.co.nz. So I'm going to select his name, come up to the link button, and I'm going to paste. And I'm just going to make sure that I submit using this little carriage return logo. I'm also thinking that I might like to have it in bold so it stands out a bit more. Onwards we go. Stunning wildlife / heading. Now on YouTube there's a great documentary called Wild at Heart, and it's all about New Zealand nature. So let's snaffle the URL for it already here in my Word doc. Let's come back to our post. Gutenberg is actually pretty smart, so when I paste a YouTube URL, it should just realize that it's a YouTube URL and create the video block for me just like that. I can also add a caption in here, so why don't I do that? Wild at Heart documentary. Now if I wanted to add something like a Vimeo, I can go / Vimeo, and if I open up my document overview, click plus, I can see this video block here. Let's click that. I can upload a video if I want to host the video on the website myself. Generally not a great idea. Better to have it posted on YouTube or Vimeo, just so that if heaps of people start watching video on your site, it's not slowing your server down, it's using outside resources. Let's click somewhere in the white to get rid of that. Select and delete. So we're on to our next section, which is unforgettable road trips. Copy, heading, paste, copy, paste. Lots of copying and pasting. I should be able to select all of these, paste them in, and presto. That's the great thing that I love about Gutenberg, is just its ability to recognize what's being pasted into it. All right, camping in New Zealand. You know the drill, / heading. And yeah, great, it's taken these bold bits of text with it, which is awesome. So I want to include a couple of PDF downloads on the page. So this is where things get a little bit trickier. Let's go / button, camping in the South Island. And we can create another one, camping in the North Island. So I've got my two buttons. I'm going to click on camping in the South Island and click link. Now this is where I get to link to the PDF that we uploaded earlier. PDFs are a bit tricky like this, so what we have to do is we have to save. We have to actually exit out of the blog post, which is a little bit inconvenient. We can come into our library, click on our South Island PDF, and we have to copy the URL to the clipboard. Close it down, posts, all posts, edit, scroll down, click, link, paste, and submit. So I'll now do the same thing for the camping in the North Island one. Save. And done. I also want to have a little website link here to the doc website. So I'm just going to write Department of Conservation NZ, select the text, link, and this time I copied that to the clipboard, so I'm going to just paste that, nice and easy, submit, and there we are. So we're just about finished. Let's do our final section. And there we are. We can hit save, view the post, and here we go. So, a nice media-rich blog post. Thanks for watching.